I'm back doing an intuitive tarot read all around the astrological weather. We are approaching the perfection of a full moon. The moon is already in the sign of Leo, and the energy is pretty lively and electric because we have the planet Uranus T-squaring the sun and the moon in this opposition of the sun and the moon, which is a full moon. And we have Mercury also in a cazimi with the sun, very close in degrees with the rays of the sun. And so a new mind is coming in to the picture. And it really means that we're in a place of integration of new information, a new mind coming in, but it isn't quite clear because Mercury is too close to the sun right now and needs to recover from the burning up and the purification process of a new mind. So giving each other and ourselves much space when it comes to understanding situations, especially ones that have been gripping us emotionally and with drama and such, just to hold things loosely. It's crazy because the beginning of this moon cycle 2 weeks ago, which seems like ages ago, I emphasized this whole idea of holding loosely to the things that we're trying to bring into our lives. And I feel that this can't be any more true in this moment of predicted chaos. It seems like all the astrologers are like, chaos! And that was actually, the title of that new moon was The Chaos Within Births a Star, right? And that's that Nietzsche quote. And so there's chaos because there's a lot of change in the air because of Uranus, right? And this is coming into expression right now with this full moon. And so holding things loosely just means that whatever we're expecting or, have been expecting the beginning of this moon cycle, but really also way back in September when Uranus was retrograde in the beginning of September. I know I keep talking about Mars, but also Mars going retrograde. And actually before Mars went retrograde, it was in the sign of Leo. And at least for me, I remember experiencing at the end of the year certain expectations about how January was going to be, what I was going to be doing, how I was going to be serving spiritually in spaces and holding space, and everything just changed. And so I don't know if there's just more change. I think there's more change. I am also, I do have a Virgo rising, and the mutable cross is really lit up. But right now, the fixed cross is where my sun is. And so if you do have, a rising or sun sign or moon sign in a fixed sign, this could be really strong right now. The full moon will be perfecting at around 23 degrees, depending on where you are exactly on the planet, give or take a degree. So yeah, why don't we just get into it? So just calling in the clarity of how to move through these energies that are unpredictable and uncertain, and how do we create right relations with change. And this is really Kundalini energy. This is really speaking back to this initiation or this activation with the snake, the wood snake. This is about the rising of Kundalini. This is about managing the energy and the electrical system of our bodies to adjust to these shifts and these changes, right? Because we're all up-leveling. Humanity is up-leveling right now, right? So be kind to your body, go slow when you can, and hold everything loosely. All right, so why don't we get into this? Talking to the cards and asking and inquiring about what wants to come through in the sky, what messages wants to come through for our highest and greatest timeline. Right? Oops. All right. Why don't we just do a bridge shuffle so we can really get these cards mixed up. Let's just knock it a few times. Just emptying out and clearing out the energy from the last reading and the last shuffle, calling into the clarity, asking for the messages to come in gently with ease, calling in the grace to rise to the occasion of change, and being patient and compassionate with ourselves. Right? So I would say it would take, I'd say a couple, if not a few weeks, for Mercury to really be strong. Mercury is squaring Uranus, so I feel like also impressions are coming in a more mystical way, beyond the mind, and again more into this energy body, this electrical system, circuitry of our nervous system. Rest will serve us really well. Being in water, being in meditation, quieting the mind, anything that quiets the mind. I think that's good. All right. So let's look at this. The first card. Ooh, okay. So we have the Knight of Swords. So this is air energy. There's a fieriness to this air. There's a rushing in quality. There's a rushing ahead and a forging ahead here in this moon. And, we have this element of fire coming in through the moon and is being amplified by the sun in an opposition, right, to Aquarius, to the Aquarius energy. And we can learn a lot through the oppositions, right? So there actually could maybe be some tension between, some real growing tension between the axis of Aquarius and Leo. And just generally speaking, it's really this dichotomy between the self and the collective or the other, right? Groupthink, right? So the individual versus the group. So that can be, there can be some tense energy there. Air and fire. All right. Seems a little emotional there, right? And I think that's the moon. All right, wow. We've had this card the last two readings, and I think it's so amazing. So this is the energy that's crossing, and again, very emotional. So this is the mutable water. This is the Pisces stellium that's happening right now. I've actually spoken to this in an Instagram post recently because I think that what it's doing for us is, look, there's a polarity and a duality with everything, right? So Pisces is really about very strong spiritual energy coming through. We have the North Node activated with Neptune, which is higher heart consciousness connecting with this point in the sky that speaks to our the path of our greatest soul development. And actually, it's really tied to the collective. So there is this really transpersonal energy because Neptune also is an outer planet. So it's not like we're really feeling it so personally, but we're feeling this longing and desire, I feel, for something higher to be reflected around us. And I think that if we look at the overculture, we won't see that per se because there's a lot of distortion and chaos. But if we can stay true to our inner being, then we can attract those energies, magnetize those energies, so to speak, right? Magnetize those energies around us that much more. So really keeping to our spiritual integrity right now, I think, is where the work is. Okay. You know, regardless if it's through group work or through the individual group, the individual, the self, right? And maybe there needs to be work done in both areas, right? And usually that's how it goes, right? It's really not one or the other, these kind of all or nothing extremes. It's about this dance of self, staying true to self and our individuality and our sovereignty, and then also being able to hold that within a group, right? All right, so, all right. I don't know. So, four of cups. So this is really fixed water. This is scorpionic energy, and we're going to be moving as we culminate. This moon culminates or disseminates. We're going to be moving into a scorpionic moon, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, a scorpionic moon. Yeah. Anyway. So what is being offered here? I don't know if this person is very interested. What's the offering here? This is what's grounding the reading. The reading is this energy coming through. Oh, I didn't realize that this card, it looks like it's damaged. Yeah, what is coming through? It's like, I don't know if this is like suspicion or just disinterest or ambivalence, right? Fixed water. Scorpio energy can be very moody, right? It can be like that cat that, you know, wants to be petted or doesn't want to be petted, you know, that energy, right? Okay. I swear, you saw me. You heard me shuffle very much. So Saturn is, again, presenting herself. Because, you know, it's really feminine. It's feminine Earth, Saturn. You know, we think of the patriarchy a lot of times about with Saturn, you know, but really it's feminine Earth energy. And so this is really on the top of our mind. This is where we're coming from in our head space. Saturn. And Saturn is, I think, really grounding us right now, even though Saturn is in the sign of Pisces right now. So I think that, you know, it's a melancholic energy. It's a melancholic energy. And I think that emotions here are really serving us in a lot of ways, because when we're able to turn towards our emotions, we're really able to see what we want to release. You know, and I feel like Saturn lessons are coming in really strong. It is right now in a trine with Mars. So I feel like we've gone through a large part of the journey, of the Mars retrograde journey, and we have learned a few things, right? So I think that we need to look to our experience about a situation, whatever is gripping us at this time, right? Excuse me. What have we learned? What are the things that keep going in a cyclical, circular way? Are we ready to get off the ride of the wheel of samsara? Are we ready? Are we ready? Yeah, I mean, Saturn energy can be a bit brutal, and we have to perhaps come to terms with what have we been indulging in? What kind of victim mentality have we been indulging in, right? When we're in the victim, we can be very self-indulgent, and we all do it. And sometimes it hurts so good, Right? All right. You know, what can I say? The Leo moon is really bringing up the heart. The heart matters, right? The heart issues and the fire. And actually, this is wild because this candle keeps burning out. So I don't know what that means. All right. Well, okay. So so this is the recent past of having to defend our position in some manner. Um, are we defending? Uh, are we rationalizing? Have we been using? Are we over rationalizing why we're a victim? Like, what stories? What stories are going on? So this is mutable fire. This is Sagittarius energy, and this is about defending a position and an attitude, and that's freaking exhausting. Yeah. Mm, yeah. Very interesting. Right, you can even say this is our conscious, and our unconscious attitudes. Right, our unconscious attitude is that we cannot be pleased. Why are we always fighting? I don't know. And this is more of our conscious, we want to get out of this habit, but we're not realizing what's out of view and out of sight is maybe even a failure to receive, right? Are we able to receive the grace that's coming in and the abundance? Or are we just stuck in the cycle of fighting? All right. Let's see what else the cards say. All right. Okay, here we go. All right. We have the Cancer energy showing up. And the last moon cycle, before this moon cycle in Aquarius, we had a really brutal full moon in Cancer. And we just passed the Cancer moon again. And it was trining all the Neptune energy. And I think that what was coming up was shadow, was a lot of shadow. How much shadow are we not processing in our lives? What are we turning away from? What are we not looking at? How are we cutting off those negative habits? Are we cutting out those negative habits, or are we indulging in the victim? Are we being indulgent in addiction? The things that keep us from our soul, talking and checking into that deep part of ourselves. Does it feel uncomfortable to be in the body? Right? I don't know, but again, like what I was saying before, so Mars is in Cancer. Saturn is in trine in Pisces to Mars in Cancer. So again, maybe we are seeing more clearly than we did in the last moon cycle, or last full moon. Maybe we're seeing more clearly what we need to cut out. Again, getting into right relations to change, right? Aquarian energy, our ability to move towards the higher reiteration of self, the up leveling, right? And it's okay if we can't up level. We just honor where we are with compassion, love, ease, grace. Okay, so let's see what the next card is. Okay. All right. We could be really ready to cut the shit that keeps us in victim mentality. Right? Hold on one moment. Okay. We're still rolling. That's good. All right. I think we're ready to cut the bullshit out of the victim mentality. I think we're ready to really get to truth right now. And we feel it in our bodies. We feel that truth is coming, and I don't know. It could be giving you a sense of anxiety, because I feel like astrological anxiety is real, and this whole thing about chaos and Uranus and Mercury and all this. It's like, just know that the truth is coming, right? And the truth trumps over the fear. It actually is able to. This anticipation of truth and clarity is actually what's keeping us able to forge forward, and it is an expression frequency that's stronger than fear. And I think that this is speaking to the Leo energy, right? That authenticity, truth, the truth of who we are, really is really important right now, right? So whatever fear we're feeling, it's okay, because we'd rather have truth, authenticity, right? Okay. Okay. Really interesting. I guess I didn't shuffle these, Chris. I don't know when we got this. We got this recently. Where there is strong energy is the South Node is in Virgo right now. Saturn, yes, Saturn. Saturn in Pisces, yeah. So that can be speaking to Saturn. And it can also be speaking to the South Node. So it's the karmas. And South Node is actually equated to Saturn energy, where it's like, where karmas, what past actions are bringing us into the situation that we're in right now. And so again, this awareness with the Saturn lessons of this awareness of past choices have put me in this circumstance, right? And grounding ourselves in that. There's abundance here. I mean, this is a very abundant card if you look at it. There's all this growth. Right. Jupiter's gone direct, so Uranus has gone direct, Jupiter's gone direct. There's a fruitful darkness here, right? There's a fruitful darkness. The darkness of our emotional shadows that Mars is bringing up, the Pisces stellium of Saturn and the North Node and Neptune. It's not all for nothing. And that's the tension, the Virgo and Pisces tension of where our highest soul development is, and the collectives, right? So there's some sort of fruitful darkness. I like that. Yeah. We got this card before, I swear. Okay, I'm sorry, maybe I didn't shuffle these that good. Okay, this is Libra energy. I feel like this is Libra in Saturn, actually. So this is also very Venusian. And Venus is exalted in this, well, Libra is exalted in the sign of Saturn, I do believe, right? Because of this idea of justice. There's a balancing of scales here. There's really having to make peace with something that we're breaking free from. We got to break free from something. And going back to this sword, breaking free from anything that takes us out of our true self, our essence, our, what we want to bring forward in this life, right? With a sense of what purpose we have here on this planet, right? The sense of soul direction, right? The sun. Leo rules the sun. So, this is really getting into the heart space and seeing what's really real and authentic, what's really important to us. who is really important to us, what the things in our life that are really important to us that make us feel like we're actually living through our true self, our authenticity, our essence, right? And this is what the snake does. This is what Kundalini is. The snake energy is so much about the shedding of the skins and the scorpionic energy. Because again, this scorpionic energy is like, nah, that's not for me. No, that doesn't interest me. And really honoring what magnetics, like what are we attracting? What are we repelling right now? Okay, here it comes. This is the culminating card. Wow. Justice. Justice. And what comes with justice? Truth. And like, honestly, it's like, okay, yeah, sure, truth is coming, you know. We're being freed from something that doesn't feel real and authentic. And it has been perhaps a measuring process, right, of information that's coming in and information that's coming out, and what we accept and what we don't accept, and what we can actually then choose to live by. What is the law that we're choosing to live by? Jupiter's direct, right? And Jupiter is in the sign of Mercury right now in Gemini, right? So it's like taking all this information. There's a new mind coming in. Mercury is being squared by Uranus. There's all this kind of cohesion that's going to be coming into play, where I feel like we could really claim this justice. We can really claim this and see now how we're going to operate in our values, right? Moving forward for all the things that we have learned in this moon cycle. And, you know, since Uranus has been in retrograde and Jupiter in the fall time, September, October, you know, Mars moving very slowly, moving into Leo, and then moving back into Cancer. So these are really powerful lessons that we're moving through, and I hope that this helps in some way, and that you continue to move through the energies with much love, ease, and grace, and that you really embrace and really get into touch with the truth of your being. And so with that, just sending full moon blessings, and see you next time.